And that's the other thing is I didn't even know about this, so it's a little bit of control chaos. That's the way it ought to be.
We keep you coding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then lastly, is, remember that this is ultimately yours, and I say yours meaning both not ours as well as yours. And if you think of it that way, it's like, hey, this is my thing. It's like, you know, it's kind of like the U.S. government. It's like the U.S. government should be, in theory, your government, right? You know, and again, there has to be control. Not everyone can have everything exactly their way because it's all in conflict. But, you know, aside from that, pretty much it's there for your benefit. You're paying your taxes. You're the one who's ultimately funding this. What should it be? What should it do? And again, obviously, people who have the resources to help out, you know, are going to have, you know, more sway in it, but not that much more. Like, figure it out. What should we be working on? I mean, I could be fixing bugs, adding little features, or if you've got a really great idea, tell us. So, anyway, and it's not just code. I want to point out. Frankly, in fact, we're actually better in some ways on the code than we are on other things. Like a lot of the documentation was actually blocking us for a lot of things. We had the gadget working as of like a week ago. The problem was no one's going to use the gadget if they don't have documentation explaining screenshot by screenshot how to get into Gmail. Right? Now, I could write that screenshot and do know how to take, you know, all print screen and get screenshots, but look, I think everyone wants me fixing bugs.
Yes.
So how is that going to actually scale up? And the way it's going to scale up is people in the audience here and on YouTube and so on are going to say, hey, this isn't right. You know, there ought to be instructions for this, there ought to be this, there ought to be that.
And that's a way for them to chip in.
Yeah, and you know, do things that you're curious about, that you're interested in, and that you're going to really have a lot of passion about. And that same thing's true. I put on testing and marketing. I don't even know if there's other things that we're missing. But like, for example, telling people about this is really key. Like a really great way to contribute, just take the gadget and put it on a website where you control that website, your own blog. And that does an enormous thing for helping out this effort because it brings up awareness to the listings, not to All for Good, but for the listings behind All for Good. And that in turn drives people to volunteer. And that's what we're most excited about at the end of the day.